So our first speaker is Beverley Fray. She's financial educator. But what I like about her is she's coming from different angle. Because a lot of time, you talk more anyway. I just realized when she told me last week that a lot of time, whatever that coming out from our body, either we being unhealthy, depressed, broke, or whatever thing is actually come from our mindset. When we're not happy, that's what we do with conscious or without conscious. So it's quite interesting, especially now the Christmas is coming. We need to really be, fully control our finance. So please welcome Beverley Fray.
Hey, good afternoon everyone, and what I'd like you all to do before we get started, I'd like you all to stand up. And what I'd like you to do is just give yourself a round of applause for actually being here today. We very often don't take the time to celebrate that we are taking time for ourselves. So, for those of you who are here today and are parents, taking time away from your children, who are very precious and dear, can be, quite a tug. But just allow yourself to just embrace today. Wherever you are, why we're all here for a reason. Okay? So please have a seat. So one of the things I just want to check with you, I'm going to be looking at money from a different perspective, as Tony has said. But what I want you to do today is I want you to think about your money story. And when I say that, people very often ask, well, I don't think I've got a money story. But I'm going to throw a couple of phrases out to you, and I want you as a group to just throw the answers back to me. So, one of the things that I would hear as a child is, money doesn't grow interest. I haven't got enough. Can I hear you louder? Money. Yeah. Is there anything else that those who were your caregivers or your parents would say to you at times about money?
We're not made of money.
We're not made of money? Anything else?
I only have that much.
I only have that much? Anything else?
You can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you, but that's a good one because they're using it. Anything else?
We used to live without.
We used to live without. Anything else?
You make half, I give you half.
You make half, I give you half. That's a good education. That's a very good education. That's a philosophy I use with my son. Yes. Anything else?
Actually, it's always about giving thanks for when receiving it.
Giving thanks for when receiving it. That's very, very powerful. So, for me, I heard so many different things, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily need to be in your home. It could just be those who were caregivers around you, just putting their own spin on money. So, one of the questions I want to ask you folks today, who would like to have more money? Who would like to have more money doing what you love? Wow, 2 hands up there. Okay. And also, not just about having more money, doing what you love, but doing what fulfills you. Okay, so let me just see a raise of hands. So one of the things that I think about and I find with a lot of clients that I work with is that some of them have a lot of money, but they're not happy doing what they're doing for that money. Some don't have very much money and they don't love doing what they're doing to earn that money. So on my journey and my realization, as it were, is that I'm here to help clients make more money. But it's not just about the making of the money, it's ensuring that those that I work with get passionate and tell themselves the truth about why they A, want the money, but B, be truthful about the work that they're doing. Is it fulfilling them? So I just want to share with you a little bit about my journey, and I just want you to just close your eyes for a moment so I can just take you back in time. It is the 14th of February 2008, and I get a little bit emotional when I think about it because as I'm saying it to you, it is very, very real for me. I'm actually getting my son ready to take him off to nursery, but my stomach is churning and swirling, my head is spinning because I'm thinking about going into the office where I worked. At that time I was working for Citizens Advice. I had casework up to my eyes, paperwork up to my eyes, and it was stressing me out.
We are okay.
It was causing me to feel anxious
Jesus, they've locked us in. Hang on, I can't take it.
and worried about where I wanted to be. And at that moment I thought, what am I doing? I love the work. You can open your eyes now. I love the work because I love helping people. I'm passionate about helping people. But I realized that the paperwork was just too much for me. And that day I should have gone into work and resigned. What do you think I did? Carried on. I carried on. And I carried on. And I carried on. And I carried on. When I look back at it, I know that there were lots of things happening behind the scenes that made me think I needed to stay. What do you think my prime, I want to use the word motivation, was for staying? Salary, income. Where was the income going to come from? What else do you think?
Familiar.
Familiar.
Security.
Security.
You scared.
I was scared. All of those things that morning were what was causing me to swirl and turn and just be lost. And I continued on in that frame of mind. And then eventually I sought counsel from a friend of mine who worked as a CAB, had worked at the Citizens Advice Bureau and was one of my mentors. And I went to see her, we had coffee, and as we looked at where I was and how unhappy I was feeling inside, I realised, because sometimes we don't always realise what's going on, or we realise but we don't want to face the truth. I realised that I couldn't continue. And she asked me the question, well, what decisions are you making? What are you going to do? Are you going to stay? Or are you going to look at doing something else and taking a chance? Oh dear, that was difficult. I then was established through work that the reason I wasn't coping was I had dyslexia, and I'd gone along all my life and it had never been detected. I'd been able to cover it, but we were moving more from handwriting handwriting files to things being on computer, and that's where my problems really showed. Computers and me are not friends, but they are here to stay. I love people. And the realization at that moment was, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to change your life? And I realized I love to help people. So for me, coaching, the work I'd done at Citizens Advice around money, understanding money, financial education, were going to be the way I was going to move forward. So one of the questions that I want to pose to you all today is, are you doing what you truly love? Are you feeling fulfilled in what you're doing? And if you're not, it's sometimes time to take stock, make a decision, make sideways moves,
Come upstairs, yeah.
make a decision and look at what you really want to do. One of the things that I found with the clients that I've been working with is that they are very often stuck because they're in high salaries. But once we all make the decision, it can be so powerful. So whilst I trained as a coach, in 2015, I made a decision. But when the decision is real, not fluffy, it is certain, things happen. I walked into work the morning and I handed in my resignation. And within the week, everything that I said that I wanted to do outside of Citizens Advice came to my door. I had cleared the path for change. I had cleared the path of change. You have to allow yourself the opportunity to clear the path for change. Now, one of the things I also talk to my clients about is the fact that if you are not making the money that you want, it's because one of the things is your money story is still holding you back. So I just want to leave you with a thought for today. If change is necessary for you, I'm going to guide you to think about looking at where your morale is. I'm going to look at a map, the map for your journey if you're stuck, and also think about your next steps into success. And what I've spoken to Tony about doing is, I'm leaving a form with Martin. I'm going to give you all a copy. If you feel that you want to just fill it in, we can have a chat whilst we're networking later on. Okay, so thank you all for listening.